This is really hard. I don't think we've been able to really wrap our minds around what this means for my home state, my beautiful home state. My heart is just so broken. Greetings, we hope you're all doing well.
And welcome to the first video of 2025. And we hope it won't be the last, but that might sound a little bit dramatic, but it's still a question that we as a creative couple has to ask ourselves every year, especially in the beginning, as it turns out to be more of a slow season for us.
But we're thankful that during this slower season for us that we are able to spend time in Southern California with our families and friends and celebrate the holidays and take some time off to rest and spend time with family and their pets. And we're also getting over a cold at the moment, so we're doing our best here.
As our tradition is here at It's a Charming Life, we are always looking back at the previous year and talking about what we have learned by answering some questions that our charming community have asked us.
So this is going to be a little bit more of an honest Q&A as we are wrestling with the reality of if we're going to be able to continue our channel or not, and just some other challenges that we're experiencing.
But in case you're new here, my name is Jonas.
And I'm Lindsay. And this is Olive. And we're very happy to be talking with you today. And Olive wants to go now.
Run along. So we have actually been doing YouTube videos full time since 2020. It's been a lovely time.
It's really been a dream come true to work together. Originally, I am from Southern California.
And I'm from Sweden.
And together we make videos at our vintage cottage in New York in the Sleepy Hollow countryside about slow living and all kinds of things.
The ins and outs of small cottage living.
Yes. If you've been with us since the beginning or just recently found our channel, thank you so much for being here. And we'd love for you to stick around and subscribe and join our Cozy Cottage Club.
So without further ado, why don't we pour ourselves something nice and cozy and have a nice little chat about dreams and reality in 2025.
May our teacups always be filled.
Cheers. Before we continue, we would just like to address how heartbroken we feel about the wildfires that is going on here in Southern California.
Thankfully, we are not in the Los Angeles area, so my family and friends and their homes are safe, and we are just so grateful. But it is just absolutely shocking to see my home state burning, and it's just so hard to wrap your head around everyone that has lost their home and their lives that have just gone up in smoke. So my heart is so heavy for everyone here in Southern California. I just have to say it feels really odd to sit here and film and talk about my little problems when in the big picture it just doesn't really matter. But I hope that when we keep sharing our light into the world, that it will bring some kindness and positivity. But it's hard as creative people and empaths to feel like you're making a difference or like what you're doing is just pointless. Maybe this isn't our most positive video ever. I'm sorry. Our hearts are just broken. So, but at the same time, we realize how fortunate we are to be following our dreams in a world where so many people don't even get that chance. So we're very grateful to have each other and be together.
It's great to make videos with you.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you everyone for sending your well wishes to everyone affected and for thinking of us here in Southern California.
Let's shift to a more positive note and as a little tradition to look back on the previous year and share some highlights. It happened to be one of the most busiest year we ever had.
So many highs and lows and so many adventures. So why don't we share a little highlight reel with some of our favorite moments of last year that you might not have seen if you're not following us on Instagram.
Let's roll the clip. Our 2024 began with a pumpkin drop to celebrate the 150th anniversary of the village of Sleepy Hollow. Every month, the villages held special events where the horsemen might appear.
The time we spent with family in California was cozy as we celebrated the simple joys of life together. We enjoyed the Southern California culture and the local flowers and fruits in the wintertime. Disneyland helped us embrace our inner childhood wonder, and we were able to visit the SoCal Ren Fair's special Cottagecore themed weekend.
Back in New York, we welcomed spring at Cabo Cottage with cleaning, baking, and picnics. We spent several weeks in Sweden for midsummer, visiting family. We had some retreats at the lakeside cottage, enjoyed lots of fika, and played with our nieces and nephew. Spending time by the seaside was so refreshing.
We returned to Cobweb Cottage at the end of summer and welcomed autumn like hobbits, celebrating a simple life. To celebrate our wedding anniversary, we went to a pumpkin patch. We decorated the cottage for a vintage Halloween.
Spooky season always comes early for us, as we often find ourselves in cemeteries. It was an honor to collaborate with Jonathan Kroc, the storyteller, to retell the legend of Sleepy Hollow.
There was so much to celebrate during Sleepy Hollow's Halloween season. Jonas showcased his pumpkin carvings at many historic locations. We attended so many spooky events and had a legendary time celebrating our birthdays and a wicked good time in the Land of Oz at the Halloween parade. An enchanted October at the cottage turned into a November where we savored the final days of our favorite season.
The holiday season began with snow, decorating, baking, and DIY ways to have a budget-friendly and nature-friendly Christmas.
We celebrated Thanksgiving in Connecticut and explored the Connecticut Christmas movie trail, becoming the stars of our own holiday Hallmark movie.
Our holiday in Sleepy Hollow were a step back in time to the Victorian era as we learned how to keep Christmas well. So don't you think it felt like we were away from Cobber Cottage more than we were there?
Yeah. But we're just so grateful that our 2024 was filled with so much family time, our families coming together for the first time since our wedding 12 years ago. Isn't that crazy?
Time really flies.
Yeah. We just had accepted that as an international couple, that meant that our families would just never see each other. And it's always been hard for us over the years. We've felt very lonely at times. But then last year, all these wonderful things happened. My family was able to come visit us in Sweden during the summertime. And then your family just visited here in California over the holidays.
Yeah. And
amazing.
The puzzle pieces just fell together. It was perfect and a core memory for sure.
Oh, absolutely. So our hearts are very happy and full of all these wonderful memories because it just means so much for us to be able to share our cultures with our families, and it's something we don't usually get to do. And besides seeing our families coming together again, we were so blessed to welcome new members to the family, and honestly, my heart has truly changed. I think we've fully embraced this aunt and uncle era that we are in right now. Don't you say?
Yeah, it's fun.
Our lovely nieces and nephews are just such fun ages right now. We love playing with them, making memories together, and we're just so grateful to be a part of their lives. And they're just so inspiring to be around.
It makes you feel young again.
It's so true. So we've really had fun embracing our inner child and just spending so much time with family last year. We're just so grateful.
So it has become a lovely tradition, I must say, to, in the beginning of this year, always have a Q&A, answering some questions heart to heart.
At least once a year, it feels nice to pull back the curtain and share some behind the scenes, things that we normally only share on Patreon. So if you'd like to see all the behind the scenes exclusive content we have there, we'd love to see you over there. It's nice to be able to open up here and share a little bit about what it takes to run this channel together and some of our personal challenges.
We just not always drink tea, if that's what you
no.
think.
First question is, what are you proud of accomplishing?
I feel very proud of myself for finishing my 10th year as a professional pumpkin carver for the Rise of the Jack-O-Lanterns.
Amazing.
10 years.
10 years.
Who could have believed that this Swede could become a pumpkin carver, something that barely even grow in Sweden, you know? I'm also proud that I have grown my own representation in Sleepy Hollow as an artist and carver.
It's been so beautiful to watch you grow, and I'm just so proud of you when people
Thank
recognize you as the pumpkin carving guy.
Yeah.
So it's a really cool.
It's a nice trail you can leave, here and there in the town, and
yeah.
and it's so fun to have a pumpkin, at the locations that we like to visit. So, what are you proud over to have accomplished?
So I feel like last year I really grew into calling myself the creative content director for our channel. Something I probably wouldn't have felt comfortable doing before, but I've really built up my confidence in our creative choices and felt a lot less imposter syndrome, which has been nice. A big part of that is how we've been evolving our storytelling style. We've been making our videos more cinematic and world building by using color palettes and props and styling clothing and sets, and we've just taken a lot more time to plan out our videos visually and turn our scripts into chapters to create the Cobweb Cottage storybook world that we want to bring to life, and making us characters in it. So it's been really inspiring to find the balance between our own reality and the fairy tale world we are trying to create, and we think that kind of magical realism is sort of the sweet spot that we like to be in.
Mm.
It just makes me so happy to hear when you all say that our videos feel like a storybook come to life, and that it gives you a bit of an escape for a little while. And that just means a lot to us because we want to be better storytellers, short filmmakers that can transport you and give you some hope. So what was your favorite episode that we did last year?
My favorite episode was probably the retelling of the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, where I carved a pumpkin, and Jonathan Kroc was reading one of his shorter versions of the legend.
Yes, which he's a legend himself. So it was amazing to collaborate with him. It was so much fun to also work alongside with at Horse Feathers Restaurant to style this desk to look very dark academia.
It turned out so great.
It was the first time that I was just completely behind the camera. I got to be the creative director and, style your outfit so you looked like Ichabod Crane, and just pulling all those pieces together and filming it, and, getting new little props and pieces for our camera equipment just to make it look more cinematic. And I was just so happy with how it turned out.
So what episode was your favorite?
So there are many. I mean, I really love doing our travel episodes as well, like the ones we did in Sweden. I love exploring different topics, but it was really fun embracing more of these literature stories last year. So I think the Hobbit one was my favorite that we did together.
I must say that was probably the second choice.
Yeah.
But it's a really tight, you can't really pick one over the other.
It's just so fun to get into character, and we literally just ran around with pointy ears and barefoot for 3 days and frolicking through the forest getting tons of mosquito bites, but we had so much fun just fully embracing the Hobbit world and bringing it to life at our cottage. It was really fun to create our own worlds, but also great to embrace some of our favorite stories and kind of do a retelling of them ourselves. It's just really fun to live in a little fantasy world sometimes.
But don't you also feel like living in the cottage, you kind of feel like a little hobbit there?
Yeah.
It is a hobbit life.
Definitely. Yeah.
So it's just fun to embrace that more, and so happy that so many of you liked it.
Yes. So I think if we hadn't evolved our storytelling style, we wouldn't have been able to feel like we could become hobbits in our videos. So yeah, it's been really nice. So the next question is, what's something fun and new you want to try this year? It could be anything, even outside of YouTube.
Anything outside YouTube.
If you want.
I do like sculpting, I think. I noticed that.
Yeah.
Isn't that true?
I've always said I think you'd be a really good woodworker.
That's funny
sculptor.
You said woodworker, because I feel that wood carving is one of the things I would like to try.
Yeah.
And, create shapes and stuff, sculpting in different forms.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would love to see
And baking is a part of sculpting too, when I come think about it. So how about you? What is something new that you would like to try?
So as far as more for YouTube, I think it'd be fun to play around with learning how to do stop motion. More like adding animation into our videos. I know it's a lot of work, so I'm not sure. But I just am fascinated by stop motion. by different storytelling art forms like shadow puppet theater, stuff like that.
When I think of all these new interesting things that we want to learn, I'm thinking, where do we start? And we are so lucky today to have Skillshare sponsoring this video, a great resource for learning new skills of all sorts.
As we enter a new year, we really want to embrace creativity as a practice. We've been wanting to get more organized, and it can be intimidating to know where to start. But with Skillshare's incredible range of classes, we've been able to learn new skills like time management for creatives, and we can't wait to learn about writing and book publishing too. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives with thousands of classes across topics like baking, illustrating, DIY, crafting, sewing, writing, and more. Whether you're a beginner or an advanced creator, you can go from dabbler to pro in just a few hours. What we love most is that all the classes are taught by industry experts who share their professional journeys, tools, and techniques so you can get personal insights and inspiration. From design to photography and productivity, Skillshare has classes for every creative pursuit. Plus, they have learning paths, curated sequential collections of classes that guide you from start to finish on mastering a specific skill. Pursue your passion projects and practice your creativity on Skillshare. The first 500 people to use our link in our description will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So join today and unlock your creative potential. So there are so many new things that we want to try. Another thing that would be fun would be getting into the world of miniatures, don't you think?
Yeah.
And creating like little felt animals and stop motion and I don't know.
As we live in a miniature house, so
why not
it
embrace
fits
the small miniature life in a dollhouse? So the next question is YouTube both of your full-time jobs, and what does it take to run a channel?
That's a very big question with a big answer. And we're going to try to take you through it.
So YouTube has been our full-time jobs for the past several years, but it takes more than full-time work to do everything.
It's not the 8 hour a day, or it's more 24/7.
Yeah.
25/7 sometimes.
Yeah, between the two of us, we are running, so many different platforms, and we put in so much energy, mostly into YouTube, on our blog. Patreon is another big one that we spend a lot of time on, which we love creating exclusive content for.
And besides YouTube itself, it's of course other platforms that is weaved in the whole package, like our Etsy shop, and to create designs together, like our postcards. And
just you as an artist is a
lot
of work.
Me as an artist is also like another full-time job on the side.
Yeah, your personal art, your commissions, all kinds of things. Yeah.
And that's also stuff that I have to work with after hours usually.
Yes.
That's how it turns out.
That's really a challenge to find the time for everything. There's so many things that we want to do that we just never feel like we have time for.
You know what? YouTube takes so much time that I'm older than my driving license, say.
Is that so? Sometimes I'm like, are we doing too much? Maybe. But often it feels like everything is so connected and it kind of all needs each other to survive. It's like this very delicate ecosystem. So we wear a lot of different hats. And all this work is stuff we're generally very happy to do. But in the last year, we've noticed a shift in like the amount of hours that we put into everything is really not kind of coming back to us. And we're trying to figure that out.
Yeah, it's all like jungle out there in the Etsy algorithm.
The cost of living has just been going up, and slowly our income has started to go down in the past year or so. So that is why we are really having a hard time facing the reality of if we're going to be able to even have this be a sustainable job for us for much longer. And it just breaks my heart to even say that out loud. Like, it's something we've been thinking for a while and just haven't dared to admit.
Of course, we want to work with each other. It's the best thing I ever done.
Yeah, it's really our dream. I mean, it's really a lot of work together, but we're so grateful to be able to work together. So we've been struggling for quite a while, actually, just over this question between ourselves. We would hate to have to give up charming life. It's who we are, and just something we're so proud to put out into the world, but sometimes we have to ask the hard question of, are we just not relevant anymore? It feels like sometimes. Yeah. I know cottagecore is a trend that was really popular in the beginning of 2020, and we happen to have been living that lifestyle already. It feels like the world is just like moving on so fast paced, and it feels like small channels like ours are just kind of being left behind. I don't want to believe that, and we're so grateful for the community that we have here. We have such a supportive, wonderful community, and so we're grateful for that, but our platforms have just been really stuck for quite some time.
Yeah, you feel a little bit that you have to be on the top there to even be suggested from YouTube to other people. The most annoying thing, because it feels like the platform decides all the rules on how you should do things. It's not about the content in itself.
We try really hard to be very authentic, and sometimes we wonder if that's part of the reason why our videos just don't tend to get picked up in the algorithm anymore like they did more before.
You think we are too authentic?
We're too authentic now. But at the same time, we've had to start doing things to be able to meet the demands of what people are, searching for on YouTube. We've noticed trends on social media where people are looking for Halloween, Christmas in July, which, seems really early for a lot of people. That's when our season really gets started because we live in Sleepy Hollow. And, we've had to start doing things to prepare our videos and channel, like filming seasonal content almost a year in advance, like whether it's fall leaves or snow, just to give ourselves a chance in the algorithm to have content for that.
Perhaps that also explains a little bit why you might see like an early Christmassy themed video, right after Halloween.
Yeah.
And you might be confused and thinking, it's not Christmas yet, but we are just trying to follow what people are searching for.
And our top performing videos usually are the ones that we put out really early in the season, and our lowest performing videos, surprise, surprise, are the ones that are put out at the height of the season. I understand people are by that point celebrating their own things. They want the inspiration beforehand, but it just breaks our hearts, when we pour ourselves into like our Sleepy Hollow Halloween vlogs that, we're pretty much filming up until Halloween night, because that's all the fun stuff happens at the end of October. We might put the video out just like right after Halloween, and we're working all night and on our birthdays and everything to get the video out before, people are moving on to Christmas. But they do underperform anyway. And sometimes we're fortunate that then the next year the video might get more views, and we're just hopeful that that'll just be the case, that the effort you put in does come back to you at some point, whether even if it's not right away. But when you just pour your hearts out like that and it doesn't do well, it's just really disappointing.
To summarize it a little bit, the pressure that we have as content creator is that we do a lot of work, but we get the paycheck a year later, sort of.
Yeah, and so you see how that's just not always a sustainable way to know your income. And it's just hard even just for us personally, who we really enjoy slow living through the seasons, a slower pace of life. And we've kind of struggled keeping up with the demands of what people are searching for so early in the season. But, we might have to just start embracing that more to give our channel a chance to survive this year. So if you see us posting Halloween and Christmas in July, now you know. There's also AI coming into YouTube, just taking over. There are so many channels popping up with just pushing out content that is all artificial intelligence. And, it's really hard to tell from the outside. The thumbnails, everything looks so amazing. And it's like, how can you compete with that, And, we even gave AI a little try ourselves, very experimental with our Hallmark movie filming locations video. We decided that we felt like the video best needed a narrator, and because we want to just be like the characters in the movie that we were creating as we explored the Connecticut
and also
Christmas
kind of like
Trail.
The traveling shows. They always have a narrator.
A narrator. But we didn't have much time to plan and prepare this video. By the time we found out that Connecticut had announced this Christmas movie trail, so it was a really cool experience. Have much rather like to hire a voice actor to be the narrator, but we thought, well, maybe we need to embrace AI. Let's try it out, and we did. It was very mixed reviews, let's just say.
Yeah, some really positive and uplifting, some pretty hurtful.
We didn't realize how much it meant to people that we use our own voices as like the narrators. We don't always want to be the narrators. We want to, experiment having somebody else do it for us. But yeah, maybe AI is not the way to go. And we realized that was a risk and maybe a mistake, but we were following our creative vision. And, sometimes it's hard to fail publicly like that on the internet. You're just trying new things, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So I wouldn't say it was a complete miss, but we might redo some of those kind of videos, maybe more in the summertime or fall, and give them a new life.
Christmas in July and so forth.
Yes. So we're just trying to figure it out. It's always a work in progress, and we're always learning as we go every time. But we have to say, though, that thank you so much for supporting our creative ideas, and so many of you see our creative visions, and it just means a lot.
Yeah, you are genuinely the best. And how can you help to support our channel and make sure that YouTube is seeing our work and recommend it to others? You can if you like the video, and a comment is always helpful, and subscribe. But what tends to be the most valuable aspect here is the watch time. So make sure you watch the whole video and share it with a friend or two.
And even just watching a playlist, really helps out our channel. And just do that for all of your favorite creators if you have a chance. We know that time is one of the most valuable things that you can give to each other. That's what we do with our videos. And thank you for watching and spending your time with us. It means a lot.
Let us be with you when you clean your house.
Next question is, what were some of your biggest challenges in 2024?
My first big challenge in 2024 was to, don't write 2023 everywhere. We have faced, a lot of more health concerns from time to time. And it's one part is the work we do, we feel like spread very thin. And it takes out a toll.
It takes a toll.
Sooner or later.
We push ourselves too hard sometimes. And so we're trying to figure out all that. We're trying to take better care of ourselves. For me, at the start of last year was a really, really rough time for me physically. I've been struggling for a while actually with lower back pain. And I started to get shooting nerve pain. And just even sitting down can be really, really hard for me. And imagine how long it takes to edit these videos. I mean, we can talk for 2 hours and I have to cut it down to try to cut it down to 30 minutes at least. And that's just one of these kind of videos. Most of our videos have so many moving parts. Filming, editing, all that stuff was just really, really hard on me physically at the beginning of last year. Like the first half of the year, I was really struggling. I've tried all kinds of different things. I was in physical therapy, and I've been trying to stand more while I'm working and all those things. So I'm really not sure yet what the reason is or what's been helping, because it has been getting a little bit better lately, even though, to be honest, I've not been taking good care of myself towards the end of last year when we got so busy during the holidays. Though that these experiences have pushed us to take better care of ourselves, and we really want to get back into a better routine of daily exercise and things when we finally are getting over these colds.
Another health aspect that we go through every year, sooner or later, or here and there, is the good old burnout. And I don't really like that person, or if you can call it a person, or not even friend. I don't invite him to my fika for sure.
Okay. Really trying to learn how to not take on too much, to be more realistic about what these projects will take. But you just never know what's going to happen. We need to give ourselves more wiggle room, because then things like this happen where you have a deadline, you're sick, and you have to film anyway. And it's part of life, but it's not always fun when you don't have any choice.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And it always happens to us that we feel the burnout symptoms, and we just have to learn from them and just take time off and embrace that to get back on the track.
Okay. The next question is, how do you stay creatively inspired, especially in such a fast-paced world? What keeps your teacup filled, Jonas?
Good you mentioned teacups, because my to-go-to, recovery kind of thing every day is to have a fika. That helps me keep things into perspective, and because it's a time for myself. And I like tea and I like coffee, and I like the stuff I bake, and it's just a little good ceremony to have every day to remind you that a little recharge.
Definitely.
And also go out in nature a little bit now and then. Listen to birds, all that stuff. It never gets old.
It's the simple joys of life.
So how about you?
So for me, I've learned that sometimes to stay creatively inspired means going out in nature and all of those things, but also just consuming less media, because I've noticed if my head gets too filled with everyone else's kind of ideas and things, I mean, I love finding inspiration everywhere, but I really love finding it most from my own surroundings, to look for the charm of where we are, where we are in that moment, and just being in the present moment. And then, but sometimes also you might just need a change of scenery, just to see things from a new point of view.
Yeah, sometimes ideas comes to you.
Yes.
So
if you go out looking for it.
Yeah.
But I think if you just get stuck where you are, scrolling too much, then the inspiration there's not enough room in your mind for inspiration. And I cannot stress enough how important it is to take time off from social media so that your virtual life does not feel more real than your real life. So for us,
I like that.
Time spent with family is such an important mental reset for us, just to ground ourselves again in that this is real life, this is the present moment, and not to get so caught up in the little details of things that really don't matter in the big picture. So finding that balance can be really tricky when you put your life on the internet, but we've been learning how to be okay with not filming everything that we do, that having some privacy is okay. You need that in your life. And especially as a couple who works together all the time and films. So we definitely need more of that balance, I think, this year.
Yeah, and like hobbies that not social media knows about. Like,
yeah, it's okay. So even though our lives have gotten a lot busier, we're learning ways to still enjoy simple moments in a busier, fast-paced life.
Yeah.
So the next question is, what were some funny or not so charming behind-the-scenes experiences last year?
The list is very long.
So filming yourself is not as relaxing as it looks. It is really hard to capture yourself in a more natural state, because I swear when you turn on the camera, things just get so chaotic. Whether it's technical issues, weather issues, or just the mess that you make as you go along filming.
And I also remember even the critters sometimes can be a distraction. I remember one particular time when some squirrels decided that it was okay to make a lot of noise on the roof as we were recording. So we simply have to wait for nature.
Yes, there's so much of that. And even just filming this video, we've had so many tech issues. The sun's going down. It's fine. It just is what it is sometimes. But sometimes we have to redo things. But today is not that day. We want to let you know that behind every tea party scene that we do, there is a trail of chaos behind it and dishes to wash.
Yeah. A common thing for living small.
Yes.
Not too much countertops,
Yes. We have done all kinds of weird things. We have gone way into detail about this on Patreon for every video that we do, if you want to know more behind the scenes. Because the funniest things can happen when you're filming. Last year, there was a video where I was wearing this really pretty yellow vintage dress, and we had already started filming, and then the zipper in the back just decided to break. And I was like, oh no, what do we do? And the entire time we were filming, over several days, this dress is just falling off my shoulders constantly. Just funny things like that always happen. A major one that happened was...
Well, you're slicing your finger while, cutting a pumpkin.
Yes, when you're trying to make some pumpkin soup from this big old pumpkin. You just sliced your finger.
And I had a feeling also, like...
so scary.
I had a feeling it's going to end in a cut, you know? And it's just weird how I should have listened to myself.
Oh my gosh. I had like a panic attack when I saw... I was more hysterical than you were. You were very calm. I thought we were going to have to rush to urgent care. They weren't going to be able to finish the video, which didn't even mean anything at that point. But, you know, like your mind's just rushing when you have all these deadlines. And, oh, thank God we got the bleeding to stop.
Actually, I was thinking like, oh, I need stitches probably. But I tried to play it cool, you know.
Because you knew how stressed we were.
I didn't want to make, add to the stress there.
Oh my goodness. I'm so glad you were okay. But if you see a Band-Aid
it's good.
in that
all good
video, then you know why. So other times we've had a giant pumpkin in the kitchen that you were working on for the village of Sleepy Hollow.
Nice visit to have.
I mean, our kitchen's so small, it took up the entire kitchen for a few days. So this is our little life at Cobweb Cottage. And you know that we love to talk about all the critters that are our friends at Cobweb Cottage and feel like Snow White, but sometimes those mice are not there to help you clean. They're there to make a huge mess. We came back from a trip to California last year to mice that had moved in. They thought it was a great vacation home.
Yeah.
They made a mess inside our car engine too. They stored nuts everywhere.
To me, they were like these annoying party tourists that just comes and partying, leaving a mess, and they had even chewing up our pillows. Our pillows, our bedspreads. Like, we've had mice before, but never like what they did this time. And even after we came back and we were there like a night or two, we spent so much time cleaning. It was crazy. In the middle of the night, I heard rustling inside the bookshelf next to my side of the bed, and I came face to face with a mouse sticking out from the bookshelf, staring at me. Had a little nut in its mouth, and we just locked eyes for a second. And we're like, "Who are you?" And he was like, "Who are you?" And then it dropped the nut and ran away. And oh my gosh, I screamed and how can you sleep after that? I know, it's impossible.
So, we love the critters around the cottage. Of course, Tibby the chipmunk is our favorite.
He is different.
Yeah. We'd rather have the critters a little outside of the cottage, though, thank you.
Although I wouldn't be mad at Tibby for coming inside.
Maybe for a cup of tea. Why not?
For a cup of tea.
Okay.
I think he likes tea to begin with.
So some other funny, crazy things that happened last year for us were a lot in Sleepy Hollow because, it's a Halloween town. Halloween season there is wild. And we had some really fun moments. Well, meeting all of you, by the way, it was really nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
For coming up and saying hello. For sure. Yeah. And it's even more fun when we get to meet you guys when we are in full costume. For example, we were Dorothy Gale and the Scarecrow from The Wizard of Oz on the day of the Halloween parade. And we had a friend helping us filming some content. We started skipping around together and an unexpected thing happened where everyone started clapping that was nearby and saw us, and we were like, oh, what's happening?
And Dorothy is such a costume that you can never really predict how many people would recognize you as a character.
Yeah.
But it seems like that was one of the more popular outfits.
It was a very last minute thing. I mean, I just happened to have stuff. I didn't have my ruby red slippers, but I threw together a last minute thing to match your Scarecrow for being outside of Horse Feathers that day. And I was just really positively surprised that so many people were like, oh, Dorothy, oh, Scarecrow. And so, it made us want to get into character. So we started saying funny things like, oh, I hope a tornado doesn't come. Or, oh, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore, Scarecrow. And people were laughing. Yeah. Little girls came up to us dressed as Dorothy and Glinda and were like they met the real Dorothy. And so things like that were just really magical. The most magical thing was you, Mr. Scarecrow.
It is the Scarecrow. It's not really me, I would say. No, but it's really fun to be, the Scarecrow, because he rests against a lamppost, and people don't really realize that someone is there because it's just a Scarecrow someone put up.
You blend in so well. You gave so many people a little pleasant surprise. Fright, happy fright.
That chuckle, is kind of nice.
People got scared
to receive. Yeah,
but then they loved it. We got the opportunity to go trick-or-treating in this amazing neighborhood that goes all out in Sleepy Hollow. And you brought like literal Halloween magic to the children of Sleepy Hollow. You were passing out candy. Everyone wanted pictures with you. The mayor was there. He didn't even recognize you. It was just like
crazy.
The funniest. Sometimes you just are like, are we living in a movie?
And also, if you saw me and I perhaps didn't see you, remember that I can barely see in that mask.
I'm like your guide.
Yeah.
It's really hard though when it's really noisy to... I'm like, oh, so-and-so wants a picture with you, and you're just kind of like, what's happening?
When I rewatching the stuff that we filmed, I actually see a completely different world. Like, oh, wow.
Oh, that's what was happening.
Yeah.
I know. And it's so funny because when you're in character, though, I even start to believe that you're the Scarecrow. You're not Jonas, my husband. I'm like, you're like the Mickey Mouse of Sleepy Hollow. Like, when you get into character, it's so fun to be part of it. I'm so glad you started a new Instagram account for that, and we'll just see how that grows and develops this year. And the last question is, how do you want your channel to be in 2025? Any big plans or changes?
I would say that the biggest thought we have to give a good, grinding in our heads is to figure out if we can do it or not. Like, is it possible to have our channel survive in 2025? Because as it is right now, we barely scraping by. And it's just such a shame because we love what we are doing and we can see the joy that you guys gives us and that we give you. And you guys are just the most amazing people.
Yeah, I know, it's such a wonderful community. So we hope we won't have to give it up for good. But unfortunately, if you don't post frequently on YouTube, then your channel just really doesn't do well. So even for us, just posting videos every other week has kind of been our schedule. The last year or two has been a challenge, and towards the end of last year, for the holidays, we decided to really give it our best shot and do videos almost weekly, and it about destroyed me, I have to say. We got through, and I knew it was a choice, so I didn't feel sorry for myself, but there was nights where, we were staying up till 5 a.m. just to meet deadlines and things, so it's not a sustainable way to do things. I know we could maybe try to make our videos easier, but that's just not like who I am. I feel like I need to challenge myself, and I love creating these stories.
Yeah, and I feel like we have adapted our style, and it's a lot of thanks to you, Lindsay, for doing this storytelling way. It feels like going into a story every video.
Oh, thank you. That's what I really, really hope for. I'm so proud of what we created last year. That's why it feels like when you finally found the way you want to do things, when our channel has started to decline. So yeah. We have to just take a hard look and figure out what to do next.
We have to figure out what we can improve, and also whatever you can do, you're welcome to do it by just click like or comment or share the videos with your friends. Yeah. That helps a lot, and we are so thankful for what you do.
If we're able to keep continuing doing videos, then I would really love to do more travel episodes. Since we're an international couple and we're traveling so much anyway, I would love for it to be kind of evenly spread out between our cottage life in New York, but also, cottagecore slow living stuff that we can do as we travel, or, more charming or historic places that we could show. That's just another really big passion of mine.
I also would love to, add more baking, I think, in general, and maybe just kick it up a notch a little bit. Yeah. That would be lovely.
Like
but
themed tea parties? Can I throw that out there?
I was just going to say. And that's something that we just enjoy, And I think you guys enjoy it too. It seems like that.
I know we've been saying it for years, but we really want to start writing our children's books and illustrating.
Yeah.
You being the illustrator. So to find the time has been challenging. That's part of the reason why we just started making our videos like a storybook, kind of as a way to experiment, to start writing and feeling like we're actually doing something towards that goal that maybe we can adapt into an actual storybook. So many of you have requested that, so it's I hope the audience will still be there by the time that we can do it, but we're really motivated to do it this year, mainly for our nieces and nephews. We would love for our stories to be a part of their childhood.
You get so many ideas to be with them and see what they do, how they react, and how they see life. It's something that I feel we need sometime, you know.
So we definitely want to embrace more of our inner child this year, have more imagination. Like we said, we want to get into maybe the world of miniatures, or we don't know if we could do big plans. Like those are the things that we want to do, but the reality of that is we need more space. Our cottage is just so small, as a lot of you know. 500 square feet is our home, our studio. We've made it work for like so many years now, but just coming to a point where we just really need like a separate studio space to be able to do certain of these bigger project ideas, at least to have anywhere to walk inside our home. If things pick up, we would love to shift the focus from just exclusively being like slow living and just be more about like creating the magic and the charm for your own life. I mean, that's what we always want charming life to be about. So wow, that was a lot of talking. My throats are very dry.
Thank you so much for spending time with us here. It was kind of nice to just, talk freely and answer your questions.
Thank you for sending those in, for choosing to watch our videos. It means so much to us. We hope you'll still be able to do another one of these Q&As for next year, that our channel will still be going. We want to believe in our dreams, and we want you to keep believing in your dreams too. It can be really hard in a world that feels like it's gone mad sometimes, but I think the world needs dreamers and creatives like us more than ever. So thank you so much for all of your questions and your support, especially again to our Patreon community and the Cozy Cottage Club. You guys mean so much to us, and we have so much going on our Patreon page. We'd love to see you over there. We also have a book club that we'd love for you to join in us every month, and we just have a very inspiring community there.
It's been wild to look back and realizing how much we have been growing. It's not every day you realize that, but if you just summarize your past year and take time to adapt that, you really grow a lot more than you think.
So in these videos, we feel very vulnerable to open up and share our struggles because, we're changing every day. We're not the same people from even just a few days ago. And so when we look back and watch this video, we will once again see how far we've come. And so thank you for joining with us today.
Yeah. Thank you for being a part of this journey. It wouldn't be possible without you.
So please, we hope you remember to be kind to yourselves, to others, to our precious planet, and remember to keep your teacups filled. Do the things that bring you joy. We really hope we'll be seeing you in lots more videos this year.
We are wishing you the very best for 2025.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.